Right now, in this very second, something deep inside you is shouting for change. Not the kind you promised to start on Monday, not the someday version, but now. The kind of change that transforms the way you think, act, and live. The kind that turns hesitation into action and comfort into growth. Here's the truth that most people never say out loud. You're in a battle, not with the world around you, but with yourself, with that lazy voice that says, do it later, with the comfort that whispers, this is good enough, with the fear that keeps you still. And every day you're either sharpening your sword or letting it grow dull. Marcus Aurelius didn't write his meditations to sound wise or poetic. He wrote them while surrounded by dirt and noise, reminding himself not to crumble under the weight of power and pressure. His words weren't meant to inspire others. They were his own survival guide. Stop wasting time debating what a good person should be. Just be one. That's not a quote for motivation, it's a mirror. And when you look into it, the truth is clear. You already know what you need to do. The discipline, the focus, the mental strength, the wall of inner power you've been putting off building. It's not going to build itself while you wait for the perfect time. Because here's what people forget. Strength isn't a final goal. It's a daily fight between who you are now and who you're becoming. Epictetus said it clearly. No one is truly free unless he rules himself. Not rich, not comfortable, not safe, master of himself. This isn't another message telling you to believe in yourself. This is a manual for inner warfare, a fight against distraction, weakness, and wasted potential. What follows are 10 essential practices, not tricks, not short-term fixes, practices that shape people who cannot be broken, the kind who move through storms like stone through water. They don't react, they respond, they don't wish, they act. Before we start, one rule: don't skip anything. Every part is a tool. Miss one, and you enter the fight unprepared. If this message stirs something inside you, pause and make a promise. Write to yourself, and I will master myself before I master anything else. Now breathe, quiet your mind, and get ready. This is where you stop being a passenger in your own story. This is where you begin to lead. Number 1. Practice gratitude every single day. Gratitude is like an anchor that keeps your heart steady when life tries to pull you toward negativity. When you stop noticing what you already have, you start running after things that don't really matter. When you focus only on what's missing, you forget how far you've already come. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It's all within yourself, in your way of thinking." That's what gratitude truly is, not fake positivity, but the ability to notice goodness even when things are hard. Every day the Stoic trains his mind to appreciate the moment he's in, not because everything is perfect, but because everything will pass. They remind themselves that this breath, this sunrise, this feeling of peace are gifts, not promises. To work on gratitude means to change how you see the world. Instead of saying, "I have to," try saying, "I get to." You don't have to wake up early. You get to live another day. You don't have to work hard, but you get to follow a purpose while others may have lost hope. Gratitude gives you real strength because it fills you with calm. A thankful person cannot be ruled by jealousy, fear, or greed because they already feel rich inside. Seneca wrote, "A wise man does not cry over what he lacks, but rejoices in what he has." That is the kind of thinking that keeps your mind balanced, no matter how much or how little you own. Each morning, take just 1 minute to list 3 things you're thankful for. And each night, think of one small moment that made you smile. This simple practice changes your mind from feeling empty to feeling full. Gratitude also softens your heart. It helps you become more patient, more gentle, more aware that life is fragile and precious. Because one day, everything you take for granted will disappear, and gratitude is how you show respect for it while it's still here. The Stoic understands that real joy doesn't come from having more, it comes from needing less. When you live with gratitude, even the smallest things, a warm meal, a kind word, a quiet morning, feel like treasures. So before you run after your next goal, stop and look around. You've already faced things that once scared you. You've already survived what once felt impossible. You're already stronger than you think. Gratitude doesn't make life easy, but it makes life worth it. And that sense of meaning, that deep thankfulness, is what keeps your spirit truly alive. Number 2, train your mind every single day. Your mind is your kingdom, and just like any kingdom, it will either rise through effort or fall through neglect. Every thought you think is a brick in your foundation. Every belief you repeat shapes the walls of your reality. So if you want a life built on peace, strength, and clarity, it starts with mastering your own mind. The Stoics believed that your mind is the one thing you truly have control over. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Understand this and you will find strength." The world might be wild and noisy, but your thoughts can stay calm, steady, and clear. That's why you must take care of your mind every single day. Fill it with truth and wisdom, not with empty noise. Protect it from overthinking, jealousy, and negativity. Don't let useless thoughts live in your most sacred space. Most people train their bodies, but forget their minds. They scroll endlessly, gossip, react to everything, and later wonder why they feel empty or confused. But your mind is your strongest tool. If it stays sharp, steady, and disciplined, you'll stay strong even when life feels chaotic. But if your mind is messy, fearful, and jumpy, you'll lose peace even in calm moments. Training your mind means learning, thinking deeply, and paying attention to yourself. It means writing down your feelings instead of hiding from them. It means changing, "Why is this happening to me?" into, "What is this trying to teach me?" When your thoughts become focused, your actions start to follow. When your emotions stop running your life, peace begins to grow inside you. When your inner world becomes steady, no outside storm can tear it apart. And never forget, your mind is being shaped every day by something. If you don't take control of that, the world will do it for you. So be careful with what you let in. The Stoics practiced something called negative visualization, where they imagined loss, struggle, or failure, not to suffer, but to become stronger. They knew that if you can control your thoughts about pain, the pain itself loses its grip on you. Every morning, remind yourself, "I can't control what happens outside, but I can control how I think about it." That simple truth, if practiced every day, will change your entire life. Your thoughts shape your future, so keep training your mind until nothing can break your calm. Work on your mind until you can walk through storms and still smile. Take a deep breath and tell yourself, "My mind is my power and I strengthen it every day." Number 3, work on your self-control every single day. Self-control is real freedom. It's the quiet strength that separates the focused from the distracted, the calm from the chaotic. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." That means it doesn't matter how rich, famous, or talented you are. If you can't control your urges, you're still trapped. Most people don't lose themselves because they fail. They lose control because they can't handle their own reactions. They yell when they're angry, chase distractions when they're bored, and speak before they think. And in those small moments, they give away their power. Self-control is the skill of staying steady when everything tries to throw you off. It's keeping quiet when your pride wants to scream. It's walking away when your ego wants to fight. It's choosing peace instead of chaos, wisdom instead of impulse, patience instead of rage. Every single day, life will challenge your control. Someone might insult you, something might tempt you, your emotions might burn hot, and your mind will shout for you to react. But the Stoic stays calm. Real strength isn't about how hard you can hit, it's about how steady you remain when life hits you first. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself often, "If it can be endured, then endure it. Stop complaining." That's Stoic power. Not about hiding your feelings, but learning to guide them. It's about not letting the outside world decide your peace inside. Working on your self-control means watching yourself in the moment. It means catching your reaction before it escapes. It means taking a breath before you speak and walking away from anything that drains your calm. Walking away doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're strong enough not to need to prove anything. That's what true power looks like. Self-control also means mastering your desires. Don't let comfort or pleasure rule over you. Whether it's food, entertainment, or attention, learn to take what's enough, not everything you crave. The Stoics often practiced voluntary discomfort. They'd sleep on the ground, skip meals, or face challenges on purpose, just to remind themselves that comfort is a gift, not a need. When you build self-control, you stop being ruled by your cravings. You stop living as a servant to habits, urges, and moods. You begin to rule your own inner world. Self-control gives you the steering wheel of your life. The more you guide yourself, the less the world can push you around. That's real freedom, the kind no one can take from you. Every night ask yourself, did I control my actions today, or did my emotions control me? That simple question can transform everything. Grow your strength quietly. Stay calm when others lose it. And always remember, true warriors don't try to fight everything outside them. They first conquer what's inside. Take a deep breath and remind yourself, I guide my emotions. They don't guide me. Number 4, strengthen your discipline every day. Without discipline, even the biggest dreams fade away quietly. It doesn't matter how smart, creative, or talented you are. If you can't stay consistent, nothing will grow. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, at dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, remind yourself, I must go to work as a human being. That means your duty isn't comfort, it's progress. Every day, you owe it to yourself to keep moving forward, even when you don't feel like it. Most people wait to feel ready, but the truth is you never really feel ready. Discipline doesn't depend on how you feel. It depends on what you decide. You don't go to the gym because you're excited. You go because you made a promise. You don't read, practice, or train because it's easy. You do it because your future self needs it. Every morning, your mind will try to bargain with you. Just 5 more minutes. Just 1 more scroll. You can do it tomorrow. That's the voice of weakness, the one that quietly steals your potential. The Stoic doesn't argue with that voice. He acts. He moves forward without debate. Discipline is a kind of love for yourself. It's showing that you care about your goals enough to keep your word. It's getting up when it's hard because you respect your dreams. It's saying no to comfort because you believe in something bigger. Each act of discipline builds your strength of character, and your character shapes your future. The Stoics deeply understood this. They believed that your habits shape your soul. If you train yourself to do what's right instead of what's easy, one day you'll stop fighting yourself altogether. You'll simply live in harmony with your better self. So how can you train discipline every day? Start small. Make one promise to yourself and keep it no matter what. Maybe it's waking up early. Maybe it's finishing your work before relaxing. Maybe it's taking a cold shower. Whatever it is, do it to strengthen your ability to lead yourself every single day. When you practice discipline, you're training your mind to believe that your words matter. Once your brain begins to trust what you tell it, nothing can stand in your way. Discipline also means saying no to things that don't help you, no to distractions, no to harmful people, and no to quick rewards. Every time you say no to weakness, you're saying yes to becoming stronger. It's not shiny or exciting, it's quiet, repetitive, sometimes lonely and often tough. But discipline is the hidden strength behind every person you look up to. Remember this. You will never wish you had been lazier, but you might wish you had been more disciplined. The Stoics taught that someone who can't control themselves becomes a prisoner to their own wants. Don't let your emotions and urges be the boss of you. Be your own master, and you'll take charge of your whole life. So tomorrow morning, when the alarm goes off and your mind tells you, just stay in bed, answer softly, I have a duty as a human being. Then get up, start your day, and keep going with power. Look inside yourself and say, I will choose what's right, not what's easy. Number 5, focus on your purpose every single day. Without purpose, you drift like a boat with no anchor. When you don't have a reason to get up, you'll always fall back into comfort. Every morning, before your feet even touch the floor, ask yourself, why am I doing what I do? Purpose isn't just about chasing success or trophies. It's about having direction. It's about waking up knowing why you're here, not feeling lost or confused. It's about having something inside you that pushes you forward, even when you don't feel like trying. Marcus Aurelius once said that a person's worth is only as great as their goals. Your goals aren't measured by how much money you earn or how many people follow you online. They're measured by the depth of your purpose, by the good you bring to others, the strength you gain along the way, and the difference you make in the world. Many people live on autopilot. They go to jobs they dislike, chase things they don't need, and call that a life. But the Stoic doesn't chase, he creates. He chooses meaning over comfort. He chooses growth over ease. He knows that even freedom feels empty when there's no purpose behind it. Working on your purpose means coming back to your why every day. It means asking yourself, does this make me stronger? Does this match what I believe in? The Stoics said to live according to nature. That means living in harmony with reason, virtue, and responsibility. Simply put, it means doing what you're meant to do, not what's easiest. You don't have to see your whole future clearly. You just need to take the next right step. Do something today that brings you closer to the person you want to become. Read, build, create, help someone. Each day, place another brick in the wall of your purpose. Purpose also grows through challenges. The more pain you've faced, the clearer your vision becomes about what truly matters. The Stoics saw problems as chances to grow stronger. Marcus Aurelius said, "The obstacle to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." That means your hardest struggle might lead you to your greatest path. So if you feel lost, don't sit and wait. Move, act, make mistakes, and learn. The right path appears through doing, not endless thinking. Every day, remind yourself, I'm not here to drift, I'm here to build. A person with purpose can face any storm, overcome any loss, and rise after every fall. Purpose gives meaning to your pain. It turns your struggles into power. It makes you unstoppable because you no longer live for approval. You live for truth and growth. Work on your purpose daily. Feed it, care for it, and protect it. One day, you'll look back and realize you've become the person your younger self was waiting for. Close your eyes for a moment and say, I live each day with direction and meaning. Number 6, train your emotions every day. Your emotions are strong, but only when you're the one guiding them. When your emotions take control, even tiny problems can destroy your peace. But when you're in charge, even big troubles can't shake you. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Most of our pain doesn't come from what happens. It comes from how we react. You can't stop the world from being unfair. You can't stop people from hurting, judging, or failing you. But you can train your emotions not to fall apart every time something goes wrong. That's what emotional mastery means, and it's one of the strongest powers a person can have. Every single day, life gives you reasons to feel angry, scared, jealous, or insecure. The Stoic doesn't run away from these feelings. He watches them. When anger appears, he doesn't explode. He studies it. When sadness shows up, he doesn't sink. He accepts it but doesn't let it rule his life. Here's a truth many people avoid. You can't always choose how you feel, but you can always choose what you do with those feelings. If you feel anger, turn it into drive. If you feel fear, let it remind you to prepare. If you feel envy, let it push you to grow. Every emotion can serve you if you don't let it control you. Epictetus said, "It's not events that upset us, but our opinions about them." When you understand that, you begin to separate feeling from meaning. You start to realize this is just a moment. It's not about saying, "It's me." It's about learning to pause before reacting. You begin to breathe, to create a space between what happens and how you respond. That small space is your power. It's what helps you stay calm in arguments, stay steady under pressure, and stay balanced when life hits you hard. Training your emotions every day means not taking things too personally. It means not letting other people's chaos disturb your peace. It means not reacting too fast but learning to stop, think, and then answer with control. It means understanding that your peace isn't something given to you, it's something you protect. Every single day, it's your job to guard it. So when you wake up, remind yourself, today my emotions won't control me. And when you go to bed, ask yourself, did I stay calm when life tried to test me? If you didn't, forgive yourself and try again tomorrow. Emotional strength doesn't appear in one big moment. It's built slowly in thousands of little choices where you pick calm over chaos. The world will always test your patience. That's just how it works. But each time you stay steady while others lose their balance, you win quietly. Each time you choose patience instead of anger, you grow stronger. Each time you walk away from drama instead of feeding it, you rise. That's what real progress looks like. That's emotional control. And that's what makes you powerful in ways words can't explain. Stand tall and say to yourself, I guide my emotions. They don't guide me. Number 7. Strengthen your character every day. Character is what you truly are when no one is there to see you. It's not built from what you say, but from what you do. And in a world that cares too much about appearances, character is the one thing that can't be faked. Epictetus once said, "First decide who you want to be, then do what you must." That's what character is. Choosing the kind of person you want to become and proving it through your actions. Every single day, your honesty and values are tested in small, quiet ways. Do you keep your word, even when it's hard? Do you stay truthful, even when lying would be easier? Do you do what's right even when no one will ever know? Those are the moments that shape who you are. Character isn't made through big speeches or public praise, but through the small choices that show what lives inside your heart. The Stoics believed that virtue, living with goodness, is the highest goal in life. To them, winning without integrity is just failure wearing a mask. Because what's the use of gaining everything if you lose your sense of right and wrong? Working on your character means checking your intentions. Why do you want success? Is it to be admired by others, or to earn respect through your effort, honesty, and discipline? Character is about standing firm when it's not easy. It's about staying gentle when others act cruel. It's about telling the truth, even when lies could protect you. A Stoic doesn't chase fame or attention. He follows his principles. He doesn't live to impress people. He lives to live rightly. Remind yourself every day, my actions show who I really am. When you speak, let your words come from truth. When you work, let your effort show your pride. When you care for others, do it with honesty, not out of selfishness. Seneca once said, I will guide my life and my thoughts as if everyone could see both. That's what the Stoics aimed for, to live with nothing to hide, to have their inner and outer worlds match. Because when your heart and your actions agree, nothing can shake you, no rumor can harm you, no insult can change who you are. You live in peace because your mind is clean. So build your character every day. Fame will fade, beauty will fade, praise will fade. But who you truly are, that lasts forever. Say this to yourself and mean it. My character is my legacy. Number 8, work on your patience every single day. In a world that worships speed, patience has almost disappeared. Everyone wants quick results, quick success, quick healing, quick answers. But life doesn't move according to your impatience. It moves at the rhythm of your growth. Seneca once said, time heals what reason cannot. That doesn't just speak about healing, it speaks about becoming stronger. Some things in life are meant to take time. Some seasons are made to slow you down, to test you, and to prepare you before you receive what you've been hoping for. Patience is not weakness, it's controlled strength. It's standing tall when it feels like nothing is happening. It's trusting your hard work even when you can't yet see results. It's continuing to move forward when others give up. Most people lose their dreams because they quit before the reward comes. They think waiting means doing nothing. But the Stoic knows that waiting is where strength grows. Patience builds endurance. It sharpens your focus and keeps your ego humble. When you rush, you stumble. When you try to force things, you lose peace. But when you stay patient, you allow life to unfold naturally, at the right time and in the right way. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "No great thing is created suddenly." He understood that becoming your best self takes time. It's a slow, steady process built through practice, not pressure. Working on patience every day means learning to love the journey instead of fighting it. When things move slowly, remind yourself, you're not starting over, you're building consistency. When no one notices your effort, remember, you're not doing it for praise, you're doing it for mastery. Patience is also emotional balance. It's breathing deeply when plans fall apart. It's staying calm when life delays what you want. It's saying, I trust the process, even when you can't yet see the reward. The Stoics didn't chase timelines. They didn't demand fast results. They focused on what they could control, their effort. Impatience comes from the ego whispering, "I don't trust the journey." But the wise person does trust it. Every moment of waiting shapes your strength. Every delay polishes your character. Every setback builds your ability to endure. Don't rush your growth. Don't compare your beginning to someone else's success. Your moment will arrive, but only if you keep showing up when no one's watching. Patience isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's quiet confidence that says, "I'll get there when I'm ready." Number 9. Work on your silence every single day. Silence is a quiet kind of power. It doesn't mean never talking, it means speaking less, but with purpose. In a world full of noise where everyone wants to prove something, the wise person learns to listen, because real wisdom doesn't grow from talking, it grows from watching, listening, and understanding. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." That means you don't need to argue with fools, answer every insult, or waste time trying to prove who you are. Silence isn't weakness, it's a smart choice. When you choose silence, you save your strength. You stop reacting to nonsense. You stop defending yourself to people who never wanted to understand you in the first place. Working on silence every day means teaching your ego to stay calm when it wants to shout. It means learning to hold back, to think before you respond, and to realize that not everything deserves your attention, and not everyone deserves your voice. Most people talk endlessly because they're afraid of being misunderstood. But the wise person knows that understanding is rare and that sometimes silence says more than 1,000 words. Epictetus once said, "Be silent for the most part, or speak only what is necessary." That's not just advice, it's a path to peace. The less you speak, the less confusion you create. Silence also helps your mind grow deeper. When you stop explaining yourself to everyone, you begin to hear your own thoughts clearly. You begin to notice what you truly feel, what you truly want, and where you truly want to go. In silence, you return to yourself, and when you finally speak, your words have power and meaning. Practice quiet moments each day. Don't fill every silence with noise. When you're angry, stay still until the storm inside passes. When you're joyful, enjoy it quietly before showing it to the world. When people criticize you, answer only if it keeps your peace intact. The world celebrates loudness, but the wise celebrate self-control, and silence is pure self-control. It helps you move in peace, build your goals privately, and let your results speak louder than your voice. Real strength doesn't shout, it doesn't need attention, it simply shows up. So protect your energy with silence, listen more, talk less, and let your calm presence confuse the noise around you. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and say to yourself, "I walk in silence, and my actions do the talking." But there's something important to understand. If you've been trying for a long time to step out of your comfort zone and learn more, but haven't been able to, there might be something you're not aware of. I know what it might be. Anxiety. Anxiety is like a snake that creeps up silently and affects you without you even realizing it. It leaves you feeling unwell for days, months, and even years. Living like this is like being sick all the time. But I know a solution. Stoic philosophers, along with modern psychology, have a way to help you get rid of it. I managed to cure myself of this anxiety. I made a video explaining how you can get rid of this problem, and it's in the first comment. Click the link in the first comment and start healing yourself from this feeling of anxiety. Number 10. Daily closing with review and gratitude. The way you end your day determines the weight you carry into the next. Most people live days that begin and end without awareness. They wake up tired, rush, react, survive, and fall asleep exhausted, as if life were a continuous sequence of noises without contour. But the Stoic knew each day is a complete unit a day, with a beginning, middle, and end. And ending the day well is just as essential as starting it with strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote at night to organize his mind. Seneca reviewed his actions before bed, asking, "Where was I wise? Where was I weak? What can I do better tomorrow?" Epictetus taught that no one achieves excellence by living on autopilot. It requires to see oneself not with judgment, but with honesty. The daily closing ritual is this: a return to the center, a steering adjustment, a rest that is more than just sleep. It's internal reconciliation. Reviewing the day isn't about reliving it to suffer. It's about reliving it to understand. Ask yourself this at night, in silence. How did I live today? When did I choose strength? When did I choose escape? At what points was I conscious? At what points was I driven by impulse? Don't respond to punish yourself. Respond to observe yourself. Punishment creates guilt. Observation creates clarity. And clarity is the first step in transformation. The review reveals what haste hides. After reviewing, the second part begins. Gratitude. Gratitude is not an emotional ornament. Gratitude is an act of humility in the face of life. It's acknowledging that despite the chaos, you're still here, breathing, walking, learning. You don't say thank you because everything is perfect. You give thanks because something was worthwhile, even if it was something small. A moment of calm, a sincere conversation, a discreet advance, discipline maintained, an error that revealed a blind spot, a pain that taught you something about yourself. Gratitude does not deny reality. It illuminates it. When you give thanks, the weight of the day is lifted from your shoulders. You return the past to the past. You allow yourself to rest. Without this shutdown, the mind continues working during sleep. The body tries to sleep, but the spirit is still awake. That's why many people sleep but don't rest. Daily closure is a gateway to peace. It's the moment when you say to yourself, I did what I could today. What I couldn't, I'll adjust tomorrow. Each night you learn not to carry what you don't need. Each night you strengthen the continuity of your evolution. How to incorporate it into your routine? Stop for 5 minutes before going to sleep. You don't need a notebook, although writing it down helps. Silence is enough. Reflect on the day with the perspective of someone who wants to grow, not to justify themselves. Acknowledge progress no matter how small. Progress is a vote of confidence from within. Give thanks for 3 things, small or profound. This changes your emotional state before you go to sleep. Let go of the day. Don't carry over into tomorrow what's already finished. When you learn to close the day, you learn not to abandon yourself. And that's one of the greatest forms of self-love. Don't let the past take the place of the present. Write it down now to seal it within yourself. I end the day with clarity. I give thanks. I rest. I begin again, renewed. Number 11. Practice courage every day. Courage is not a dramatic moment. It's not about raising a sword or facing a crowd. Courage is a silent, almost invisible act, repeated daily, especially when no one is watching. It's the choice to move forward even when the mind tells you to retreat. It's approaching what causes fear instead of running away. It's putting your foot on the cold ground of reality and saying, I continue. Fear never disappears. It only changes form. Sometimes it appears as doubt. What if I fail? Other times it manifests as discomfort. This is going to hurt. On many mornings it disguises itself as laziness. I'll do it later. But in truth, these 3 voices, fear, discomfort, and laziness, are the same force, the force that tries to keep you small. The role of courage is not to destroy fear, but to overcome it. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire plagued by war, plagues, and intrigue. Epictetus was a slave. Seneca lived surrounded by power, politics, and betrayal. And yet they all pointed to the same truth. The obstacle is not something external. The obstacle is you, or more precisely, the fear within you. Courage is a practice, not an event, and it needs to be practiced every day, especially in the little things, because it is these things that shape the spirit. If you avoid small discomfort, how will you face the big one? If you run away from having an honest conversation with someone you love, how will you face your own inner demons? If you can't say no when you need to, how will you stand firm when it really matters? Daily courage is simple but never easy. It can take subtle forms such as Make a decision you've been putting off for weeks. Speak honestly, even when afraid of causing offense. Starting something new without any guarantee of success. Continue training even when your body and mind are asking for rest. To admit a mistake without hiding behind excuses. Ask for help when pride demands silence. These small acts build an invisible muscle, the muscle of the soul. The body is strengthened by physical exertion. The mind is strengthened through discipline. But the spirit, it is strengthened by courage. When you practice courage daily, you change your relationship with fear. It ceases to be a blockage and becomes a signal. This is where I need to go. Fear, once the enemy, becomes the compass. Most people live trying to avoid discomfort. They run from challenges. They seek easy routes. But everything that grows through friction. Muscle grows through effort. The mind grows through study. And the soul grows when you choose to walk through fear. Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't expect trust to appear. Don't wait for the ideal circumstance. Courage is action, before to feel prepared. Tomorrow morning, when the day begins, ask yourself, what is it that I am avoiding? So do this thing first, even if you're trembling, even if you're uncertain, even if you're going slowly. Every small victory against fear strengthens your spirit. Each courageous step builds the version of you that you've come to become. Enough of living small. Enough of crawling where you were born. Start walking with your head held high. Write it down now to fix it in your mind. I practice courage every day. I move forward even when I'm afraid. Number 12. Practice radical humility. Humility is not about belittling yourself. It's not about thinking little of yourself or putting yourself down in the eyes of others. True humility is recognizing that you are always under construction. It's accepting that, however much you have learned, there is still more to learn. It's understanding that the ego is the silent enemy that whispers that you already know enough, that you have already done enough, that you don't need to listen, adjust, or grow. The Stoics were men of great power, but they all practiced humility as a central principle. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, wrote to himself, "Remember that you too are human." He was sovereign of an empire, yet he maintained the attitude of a learner. Epictetus, who was born a slave and became one of the greatest philosophers in history, said that the first step to wisdom is recognizing one's own ignorance. Seneca, advisor to governors and figures of power, warned that pride blinds and that only the humble can see the truth. Radical humility begins when you accept that you don't need to be right all the time, when you exchange the desire to win arguments for the desire to understand, when you stop defending your image and start defending your growth. Often, arrogance doesn't appear as explicit superiority. It appears as resistance to change, as stubbornness, as fear of admitting a mistake. The ego fears evolution because evolution demands transformation. And to transform is to die a little of what you were. Practicing humility daily means positioning yourself as a student of life. It means asking questions instead of assuming you have answers. It means listening attentively instead of waiting for your turn to speak. It means seeking guidance when needed, without shame. It means admitting that you don't know everything and that it's okay not to. This sets you free. Humility also involves accepting criticism without breaking down. Not all criticism is an attack. Some are invitations for growth. When someone points out something difficult to hear, the ego reacts with defense, justification, or escape. However, a strong mind observes. It asks, is there truth in this? Is there something here that I can improve? This simple question separates those who evolve from those who remain trapped in their own illusion. There is another profound point. Humility allows for constant evolution because it removes the illusion of arrival. There is no arrival, there is no end point. The process continues as long as you are alive. The world changes, you change, your needs change. If you believe you have already reached the top, you will begin to fall. Those who remain learners transform each experience into a stepping stone. Practicing radical humility also means recognizing that everything you are is the result of many forces that you don't completely control. You received help directly or indirectly. You learned from mistakes, books, people, setbacks, situations. You didn't build yourself alone. Nobody builds themselves alone. Recognizing this doesn't make you weak. It makes you honest. Tomorrow when you wake up, remember, you can always learn something from anyone. You always have blind spots. You can always improve your posture, your speech, your behavior. You are still becoming who you were born to be. Humility removes rigidity from the spirit. It allows movement. It allows adaptability. It allows continuous growth. Repeat to yourself, I don't know everything. I can learn. I can change. I can grow. And throughout the day, practice. Ask more questions. Listen attentively. Admit your mistakes. Ask for help when needed. Be grateful for learning opportunities. Celebrate the progress of others without comparing yourself to others. Radical humility is not weakness. It is strength directed inward. It is the courage to look at oneself without masks. It is spiritual maturity. It is the path to true wisdom. Right now to confirm, I choose to grow instead of just appearing to be. I practice humility every day. Number 13. Build systems, not just goals. Goals are important. They point the way. They show you where you want to go. They remind you of what you want to build. But goals by themselves don't change your life. What changes your life are the systems that support these goals. It's what you do every day, not what you promise you'll do someday, that shapes who you become. Most people set goals with enthusiasm, but they don't create the mechanism that makes those goals inevitable. They say, I'm going to train every day. I'm going to study for 3 hours. I'm going to wake up early. But nothing changes, not because the goal is bad, but because there is no structure to support it. Without a system, a goal is just a wish with a deadline. The Stoics were acutely aware of this. Marcus Aurelius didn't become disciplined simply by wanting to. He maintained a daily ritual of writing, reflection, and action. Seneca didn't become wise merely by reading. He wrote, debated, and revised his behavior. Epictetus taught that virtue is built through continuous, organized, simple, and daily practice. The system is the repeated habit. The goal is the destination. The system is the way. If you focus only on the destination, you end up thinking about how much further is left, and you become paralyzed. But if you focus on the journey, everything becomes a small, daily, achievable action. When you wake up, you don't need to conquer the year. He needs to win the first hour of the day. When you decide to learn something, you don't need to master the entire subject. You need to study, 1 minute, every day. When you want to build physical discipline, you don't need to train hard every day. It needs just don't break the cycle. Systems are more powerful than goals because 1, they do not depend on motivation. You don't have to want it. You just execute the defined process. 2, they reduce decision-making. When something is planned, you don't think if it will happen, only when and how it will happen. 3, they create identity. Repetition shapes who you believe you are, and who you believe you are shapes everything you do. Without systems, discipline becomes suffering. With systems in place, discipline becomes routine. This is how men become unshakable, through the silent repetition of the essential. Create simple, clear, and objective systems. Set a time to wake up. Don't rely on your mood. Decide where you train, always the same place. Decide what you will study, and for how long. Plan your day before the world plans it for you. Review the day to learn from it, not to punish yourself. Your success will not come from a single great effort. It will come from 150 small invisible movements made even when no one is watching, especially when no one is watching. The goal is to win, but the system is to wake up, breathe, and begin every day. When you build systems, discipline ceases to be an internal struggle and becomes natural territory. You are no longer arguing with your own mind. You are simply following the path you yourself have built. Ask yourself now, which of my goals is waiting for a system? What small action can I repeat every day to sustain it? Then write down that system. Don't complicate things. Simplicity is strength. Goals define where you want to go. Systems define who you become in the process. And what truly transforms your life isn't the final destination. It's the person you become on the way. Right to consolidate. I build systems that make my evolution inevitable. Number 14. Create boundaries as an act of self-control. Limits are not barriers. They are not walls that isolate you from the world. Limits are internal structures that protect your energy, your focus, your peace, and your dignity. They are invisible lines that you draw between what strengthens you and what weakens you, between what is yours and what belongs to others, between what you choose and what others try to impose on you. Creating boundaries is an act of courage, and more than that, it is a profound act of self-control. The lack of boundaries doesn't stem from love, it stems from fear. Fear of disappointing, fear of being misunderstood, fear of losing someone, fear of seeming difficult. But every time you accept something that hurts or drains your soul to keep the peace, you create war within yourself. And the internal war is the most devastating of all because no one sees it, no one recognizes it, and yet it consumes everything. The Stoic knew that the mind needs protection, just as the body needs shelter. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that true freedom doesn't come from doing what one wants, but from not being a slave to the expectations and pressures of others. Epictetus said that those who live trying to please the world distance themselves from themselves. Seneca understood that time and attention are treasures, and that giving them away carelessly is wasting one's own life. Saying no is a way of saying yes to what really matters. Boundaries aren't aggressive, they're clear. A firm boundary doesn't need explaining, justifying, or convincing. It simply exists. It's a simple, honest, and consistent line. Examples of internal boundaries. I don't start my day in the chaos of others. First, I center myself. I don't give my attention to those who don't respect me. I don't sacrifice my rest to prove my worth. I will not sacrifice my peace to maintain an image. I don't argue with people who only want to win the fight, who don't understand the truth. Limits also appear in daily life. Screen time, time for work, time for rest, time for silence, time for relationships that nurture, not drain. Most people are exhausted not because of the intensity of what they do, but because of the sheer amount of things they accept unnecessarily. The modern world transforms access into invasion. If you don't set boundaries, you're sucked into the rhythm of others, their urgencies, their fears, their priorities. Suddenly, your life is no longer your own. Setting boundaries is about reclaiming ownership of one's own existence. But be warned, limits only work when practiced with calm and firmness, not with anger. Anger builds walls. Calmness creates structure. Self-control is maintaining composure when you assert your space. The first person who needs to respect your boundaries is yourself. If you say, I'm going to bed early, and then cheat, your body learns that your word has no value. If you say, I'm not going to answer now, and then answer, your mind learns that your anxiety is in charge. If you say, I deserve a break, but continue working, your nervous system learns that living is about surviving. Limits are, first and foremost, commitments to oneself. Every time you respect a boundary, you strengthen your inner identity. You become someone you can trust, and nothing in the world is more powerful than that. If you ask now, who or what is overstepping my boundaries? What boundaries do I need to reaffirm? Where have I been saying yes when my body is screaming no? Then choose a limit to reinforce tomorrow morning. Just one. Don't shout, don't explain, don't ask for approval. Just stand by your statement. True strength lies not in controlling others, it lies in control yourself. Right now to consolidate. I protect my energy. I create clear boundaries. I honor what is mine. Number 15. Serve something bigger than yourself. Life becomes small when you live only for yourself, when everything revolves around your own image, your comfort, your personal achievements. Something inside you begins to wither. You find yourself trapped in a cycle of trying to prove, conquer, show off, and yet you feel a silent emptiness, as if something is missing. This emptiness is not weakness, it is direction. It is your soul pointing towards something greater than your own ego. The Stoics understood this deeply. For Marcus Aurelius, governing was not about exercising power, but about serving the common good. He reminded himself daily, you were born to cooperate. Epictetus said, that a life oriented solely towards personal desires is an unstable life because any loss becomes devastating. Seneca, on the other hand, asserted that the man who lives only for himself is, in fact, living against himself, because he isolates himself from the force that exists in exchange, in impact, in contribution. Serving something greater than yourself is what gives weight, depth, and direction to its existence. It is what gives suffering meaning, effort, purpose, and growth a destination. But make no mistake, serving doesn't mean sacrificing yourself until you disappear. It doesn't mean putting everyone else above yourself. It doesn't mean becoming a martyr to the world. Serving means to act in alignment with high values. It means living in a way that contributes beyond your own immediate benefit. It can be something grand, but it can also be silent, helping someone without expecting recognition. Teach what you know to those who are just starting out. Use your strength to protect, not to dominate. To create something that uplifts, not something that confuses or distracts. Being an example, even when no one is watching. Serving something greater than yourself can also mean serving an idea. Truth, discipline, knowledge, virtue, justice, beauty, love. When your life is guided by values, not vanity, you become solid inside. Problems cease to be tragedies and become part of the journey. Pain ceases to be punishment and becomes a process of refinement. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begins to ask, "How can I grow through this?" When you only serve yourself, your energy is limited. When you serve something greater, your strength multiplies. Observe a weary warrior in battle. If he fights only for ego, he gives up when the pain intensifies. But if he fights for something he loves, family, purpose, honor, duty, he rises 10 times, even bleeding. The body tires, the mind hesitates, but the spirit continues. Serving something greater also protects you from pride. Those who act for something beyond themselves don't need to prove anything to anyone. They don't need to show off. They don't need to compete. They just need to do the job with firmness and serenity. And at the same time, serving something greater protects you from despair. When you understand that your life contributes to a continuity that goes beyond your time, difficulties cease to be noise and become part of a larger construction. Every morning, ask yourself, what is my effort today strengthening? Who benefits from my growth? What is the impact of my discipline on the life of someone other than myself? If your answer is simply myself, your path will be narrow. If your answer involves something or someone other than yourself, your heart expands. Serving something greater doesn't take away power, it restores it. That's what gives it meaning, that's what gives it courage, that's what brings it peace. Right now, to reinforce, I don't live just for myself. My efforts have a purpose. My life has direction. Number 16, detach yourself from the outcome, master the process. Anxiety arises when you constantly look at the end before taking the next step. When your mind is always focused on how will it be, when will it happen, will it work out, you lose the power of the present moment. The outcome is the future, the process is the present, and the present is the only place where life truly happens. That's why the Stoics insisted, the focus is not on what you achieve, but on who you become along the way. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, do what must be done, without expecting applause. Epictetus taught that the desire to control what is beyond your control is the root of suffering. Seneca said that a free man is one who does not place his happiness in something external. What they were all pointing to is simple and profound. You don't control the outcome. You control the effort, the attitude, the intention, the discipline. Letting go of the outcome doesn't mean not caring. It means don't become enslaved. It means ceasing to measure your worth by the world's response. It means continuing to walk even when there are no guarantees. When the focus is on the process, each day becomes a victory. When the focus is on the result, each day seems insufficient. Note the difference. Those who focus on the result say, I will be disciplined until I get there. Those who focus on the process say, I'm going to be disciplined because that's who I am. The first one lives in tension. The second one lives in presence. When you fall in love solely with destiny, any delay becomes a source of frustration. When you fall in love with the journey, even the obstacles become part of the construction. Mastering the process means learning to do the basics well every day. Train even when your body feels heavy. Study even when your mind is complaining. Working even when no one is watching. Keep going even when progress seems slow. True growth is silent. It happens in microdoses, accumulating strength. One day the world calls this a big change, but you know it was just consistency. The result is a natural consequence of the process. When you master the process, the result becomes inevitable. But when you idolize the result, you start to sabotage yourself. You skip steps, you look for shortcuts, you compare yourself, you get tired, you give up. Comparison is a product of attachment to results. Frustration is the child of expectation. Peace is the daughter of presence. The process is where you hone your character. The result is merely a reflection of that character. So tomorrow morning when you wake up, don't ask, when will I get there? Ask, what can I do with excellence today? Don't think about winning the year. Win the day, conquer the morning, win the first decision. You don't control destiny, you control the pace. Tell yourself firmly, today I dedicate myself to work, not to fear. Today I do what needs to be done, without haste and without despair. Today I walk with purpose, without waiting for life's permission. The result will come as a consequence of what you are building now. Write it down to seal it within yourself. I detach myself from the outcome. I master the process. Number 17. Learn something new every day. Your mind is like a muscle. If you don't challenge it, it weakens. If you feed it, it grows. And just as the body doesn't get stronger after a single workout, the mind doesn't develop with occasional knowledge. It develops with daily learning, constant conscious. Learning something new every day is not just an intellectual practice, it's a spiritual discipline. It's recognizing that you are always becoming, refining, expanding. The Stoics were, above all, students of life. Marcus Aurelius, even while ruling an empire, wrote reflections for himself daily. He didn't write to teach, he wrote to learn from himself. Seneca read, studied, engaged in dialogue, and sought understanding until the end of his life. Epictetus reminded his students, no one is wise by chance. Wisdom doesn't just happen. Wisdom is built. Learning something new every day opens up space for transformation. Because everything you don't yet know is limiting in some way who you can be. Not learning means remaining stuck with the same answers, the same interpretations, the same emotions. When you stop learning, your mind starts repeating patterns. And unconsciously repeated patterns create purposeless, repetitive lives. Learning something new doesn't require hours of study, expensive courses, or a huge library. True learning lies in attention, observation, and intention. It can be a concept, a technique, an insight, or a minimal skill. What matters is not the amount you learn, it's the consistency of learning. Learning is, read 3 pages of a book. Watch with depth, not with distraction. Ask a question you would normally ignore. Listen to someone with genuine interest. Write down something that caught your attention, reflecting on an experience from the day. Learning is also unlearn. Let go of beliefs you repeat without questioning. See where you went wrong. Admit that you may have misunderstood. Humility is the gateway to learning. Ego is the block. When you learn something new every day, you change the way you think. When your way of thinking changes, the way you act changes, and when your actions change, your life changes. But be warned, knowledge without application becomes dead weight. Learning is not about accumulating theories to feel superior. Learning is, apply even in the smallest gesture. If you learn about patience, practice it when someone irritates you. If you learn about focus, practice it on your next task. If you learn about discipline, practice it first thing in the morning. Learning is bringing knowledge to the body, to speech, to behavior. Make curiosity a way of life. Question, observe, approach the world with attentive eyes. People harden because they stop studying. To stop learning is to age prematurely. To continue learning is to keep the spirit alive even as time passes. Ask yourself every morning, what will I learn today that will make me 1% better? And every night, What did the day try to teach me? Did I listen? Wisdom doesn't grow in haste. It grows in presence. You don't need to learn everything, you always need to keep learning. Write it down now to seal it within yourself. I am a student of life. I learn every day. I evolve every day. Number 18. Train your anti-fragility. Most people try to build a life where nothing hurts, where there are no failures, no criticism, no losses. They dream of a protected, controlled, predictable existence. But this dream is a prison in disguise. Because when you avoid discomfort, you also avoid growth. When you avoid challenges, you avoid your own evolution. The Stoic knew that life wasn't meant to be smooth all the time. It was meant to be, you mold. Anti-fragility is more than resilience. It's not just about withstanding impact, nor just about standing firm. Anti-fragility is grow because of the impact. It's about using stress, difficulty, mistakes, and chaos as fuel to become stronger, more aware, and more stable internally. It's about transforming adversity into increased strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What hinders action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that you don't grow despite the obstacles. It is through them life throws storms at you not to break you, but to reveal where you are still weak. And when you accept this truth, suffering ceases to be punishment and becomes practice. Training in anti-fragility means voluntarily exposing oneself to discomfort. Not to get hurt, but to prepare. Do the hard thing before the easy thing. Choose the truth even when it hurts. Keep working even when motivation is lacking. Stand firm when your mind tells you to escape. Keep going when nobody's watching. These moments build a kind of strength that is never lost, a force that does not depend on perfect conditions. When you train anti-fragility, your identity changes. You stop saying, "I hope nothing goes wrong." And he begins to say, "If something goes wrong, I'll grow from it." Most fall apart because they built their peace on external things. If the day is nice, she's fine. If someone praises her, she feels capable. If something goes right, she feels confident. But the slightest breeze knocks down that which has no roots. Anti-fragility is about building internal roots. It's knowing that your value doesn't change with the climate of the circumstances. It's about walking with confidence, because confidence isn't found in this world. It's within you. Training in anti-fragility doesn't require heroism. It requires consistency. Small daily acts of coping. Make tough decisions without running away. Keep the promises you made to yourself. Feel the discomfort and keep moving forward. Turn every frustration into an observation, not a drama. When something hurts, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" do you ask, "What is this trying to teach me? What does this strengthen in me? What can I learn from this going forward?" This change in question changes your entire life, because you stop being a victim of circumstances and become the author of your own strength. And little by little you realize something powerful. You don't need life to be easy. You just need to be strong enough to get through it. And that force is built on friction, not in comfort. Write it down now to reinforce it. I grow through adversity. I am shaped by challenge. I practice anti-fragility every day. Number 19. Conduct a habits audit. Most people believe their lives are shaped by big decisions, big moments, big changes. But that's not how life is built. Your life is formed by the small acts you repeat every day, often without realizing it. It's not what you do occasionally that changes your story. It's what you do consistently, and what you do continuously are your habits. The Stoics understood that true discipline is born not from heroic effort, but from conscious repetition. Marcus Aurelius reviewed his behavior daily. Seneca wrote about the day before going to sleep, examining where he had been virtuous and where he had yielded to impulse. Epictetus recommended observing oneself as a general observes the field, with attention, strategy, and clarity. Auditing your habits means taking on the role of commander of your own life. It's about stopping living on autopilot and starting to choose what you do, how you do it, and why. The fundamental question is simple and profound. What am I practicing every day? Because every habit is a practice, and every practice builds identity. If you practice distraction, you become someone who runs away from themselves. If you practice discipline, you become someone who can trust your own word. If you constantly complain, you become a hostage of life. By practicing responsibility, you become the author of your own story. Conducting a habit audit means observing without judgment and without excuses. It's about looking at your routine like a scientist, not like someone trying to justify themselves. Ask yourself, how do I start my days? What do I do with my first 30 minutes? How much time is spent on distractions? How do I feed my mind? Which conversations strengthen me and which ones drain me? What repeated behaviors are bringing me closer to or further away from the life I want to build? Habits are seeds. Some bloom. Others become weeds that choke who you truly want to be. If you don't consciously choose your habits, the world chooses them for you. Your phone chooses for you. Advertising chooses for you. Fear chooses for you. A comfortable routine chooses for you. The audit is the moment when you regain control. How to do this in practice? Observe one day of your life with absolute attention. Don't change anything yet. Just register it. Every action, every deviation, every impulse. List the habits that strengthen you. Study, training, silence, presence, reading, breathing, proactivity. List the habits that drain you. Procrastination, endless scrolling, reactivity. Empty conversations, broken sleep, self-sabotage. Choose one negative habit to cut down on, not all of them. Replace it with a positive habit, not with willpower. You don't remove habits by emptying them, you remove them by filling them. Review daily. 5 minutes before bed is enough. An audit is not a moral judgment. It's not about blaming yourself. It's about see clearly, because only what is seen can be changed. Over time, you realize that true transformation happens when your habits align with your values, when your actions reflect who you want to be, not just who you've been up until now. And then, something powerful happens. You stop trying to control the future. You begin to control what you do now, and the future becomes a consequence, not anxiety. Write it down now to solidify it within yourself. I observe my habits. I choose my habits. My habits build who I become. Number 20. Strengthen your inner peace every single day. Your last and greatest daily mission is peace, not the kind that appears only when everything goes right, but the kind that stays steady even when the world around you falls apart. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Nowhere you can go is more peaceful and more free of interruptions than your own soul." That's where real peace lives, not outside of you, but inside. Most people spend their whole lives chasing calmness from the outside. They think peace will show up when they earn more, love more, or finally escape pain. But Stoicism teaches the opposite. Peace begins when you stop running and start looking within. Working on your peace each day means guarding your thoughts. It means refusing to let every opinion, argument, or bit of bad news shake your heart. It means living from the inside out, not reacting to every noise from the world. True peace is built through strength, not pretending everything is fine. It's not ignoring what hurts. It's learning how to stay balanced through the hurt. It's saying, this is hard, but it doesn't rule me. Each morning, take one deep breath and remind yourself, the world owes me nothing, but I owe myself peace. The Stoics practiced this mental stillness every day. They knew peace wasn't found in comfort. It was found in how you choose to see things. They trained their minds to accept what they couldn't control and to focus on what they could. So when people gossip, stay calm. When your plans take longer, stay patient. When the world feels unfair, stay thankful. Because peace isn't something you wait for, it's something you build from within. Peace is strength in stillness. It's power hidden in patience. It's clear thinking in the middle of chaos. It's what lets you smile when life is heavy, stay gentle when others are harsh, and keep walking when everything inside you wants to stop. Every day take time to sit quietly, breathe deeply, or think in silence. That's not weakness, that's the greatest power there is. Because the one who stays calm when others lose control is the one who truly understands life. Always remember this: you can't control what happens around you, but you can control how you respond. That response is your peace, and your peace is your power. Take a deep breath and say to yourself, My peace is my power. Every single day you're building something, even if you don't see it. You're either creating habits that make you strong or ones that make you weaker. You're either training your mind to rise or teaching it to give up. The Stoics understood this long ago, but it's even more important today. In a world full of noise and distraction, choosing silence, patience, discipline, and peace is an act of quiet rebellion. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be willing to look foolish." That's the price of real growth. People might not understand you, but while they chase attention, you'll be chasing wisdom. Remember the 10 things to build every day: your mind, your emotions, your discipline, your purpose, your self-control, your patience, your silence, your gratitude, your character, and your inner peace. Together they form the base of a life that cannot be broken. Not a life without problems, but a life led with clarity, calm, and courage. Every sunrise is another chance to practice. Every challenge is another chance to rise. Every moment is another chance to choose who you want to be. So, my friend, keep building yourself every day. Let your strength grow quietly, your progress move steadily, and your peace speak louder than the noise around you. And remember, you are the builder of your own soul. Say it and believe it. Every day I am becoming stronger, calmer, and wiser.